Google just overhauled their AI Studio, making it much more user-friendly. It's now cleaner, faster, and actually fun to build in. The new interface strips out all of the old clutter, having a new customizability display, enhanced API dashboard, as well as a whole new vibe coding library. But the thing I didn't expect was actually how much customizability you have for each model, unlike other AI builders. So this video just will be a quick tour of Google's AI Studio and all of their updated features inside. So to get started with Google AI Studio, all you need to do is search up or use the first link in the description, and it will prompt you for a Google account. This is a free Google account. You don't need a workspace or any paid plans to use this tool, which is really awesome. On the front page, this is all new here. We've got chat with models and playground, vibe code with Gen AI enabled apps and build, or monitor usage in the dashboard. First thing we're going to show you is the chat feature. So this looks straight away kind of like your basic ChatGPT interface, although there is a little bit more information in your face. However, because this is more for developers and having that customizability is the big thing there. At the top right, we have our model, and this is actually a selector. So if we click into this, we can see the whole range of models that Gemini Google have. So Gemini is their kind of chat model, like your ChatGPT interface. They also have the images tab where they have Nano Banana, which is kind of the best image creation for editing as well. If you want to stitch photos together, it's really, really good. But they also have their Imagine models, which is more for the artistic side of image generation that you can go and play around with. They also have audio generation, so they have kind of native audio back and forth conversations like a live chat, which is really cool. But they also have their text to speech if you just want to generate a huge paragraph into audio. They also have video generation. They have their VO2 model. In a different section, they also have the VO 3.1, their latest model that's just been released, but that does cost to run. And they also have their Gemma models as well. So these are their open source models, and these can even be run on your mobile phone. So like this 4 billion parameter model, I can run that on my little Samsung phone and actually have a chatbot I can go back and forth with, and I don't need all this crazy compute like these other models. So what we're going to do now is select onto the Gemini 2.5 Pro model, and we can see on here on the right hand side, this is our customizability window. And it's quite a lot more detailed than a lot of the other AI software development tools that I've used. We have your system instructions, which is pretty much everywhere in terms of AI development. It's almost like a prompt that always gets sent when you send it a message. This is where you go, hey, I want you to act like this. This is what the output needs to be. All of that other contextual information for it that you don't want to have to send every time you're sending a prompt through. Temperature as well, that's kind of the creativity. The lower the value, the kind of more strict the output's going to be. The higher the value, the kind of bit more randomness is the way you can think of that. Media resolution isn't one that I've seen too often, and it's around actually using more tokens for the reasoning and understanding. So you can set it to low or medium. Thinking as well, you can play around with that. So you can have thinking mode on or off. So is it going to just actually think about things, or is it going to go through and just go, bam, here's an answer straight away? But the really cool one here is actually having a thinking budget. So if you're a developer, you're developing kind of an AI suite of tools, you want it to call and use this model, but you don't want it to think too much and spend a lot of money or go over the top, we can set a limit on how many tokens it uses to think before it provides an answer, which is pretty useful. You also have a tool section down here, so you're having a structured output like JSON. If you want to put it into a structured UI format or out into a sheet, is pretty useful. Code execution, same as code interpreter inside of ChatGPT, where it can run and execute Python code for data analytics. Function calling, if you want to create a custom call to an API or even set up an MCP server, you can. The other two cool ones is grounding with Google search, so it actually kind of reasons the output that it's providing you all the information with a Google search to kind of validate that information back and forward. And then URL context, so if I upload a URL to the chatbot, will it actually go and search for that information on that site? There's also some more little advanced settings down here. Safety settings, so you can turn off and on the hate, harassment, sexual, explicit and dangerous content to play around and see what the limits are there, or enable them to be really high depending on your application back and forth. You also have a stop sequence to actually truncate the responses after a specific string, and then output length, which works same as kind of the thinking tokens, where once it's hit a certain number of tokens, it will stop and that's the entire output again to kind of save that money. The really cool thing here is we can go back and forth, sending through a lot of prompts and kind of validating our outputs as we would expect, and then tinkering with the settings in a nice UI on the side. And then once we actually find what settings are perfect for us, we can easily just go get code, select which language that you actually are coding in, and then just copy this through, and this contains all of the settings that you are playing around with to actually add to your application. Another cool feature is actually being able to compare. So if we go on that compare mode, we can switch into, say we want to compare against Gemini's latest Flash model, which is their fast one. We can then still go and play around with the different settings that they have, send a prompt through like hello, and then validate their outputs between the two of them. We could even keep this the same model. One's Gemini 2.5 Pro with these kind of settings, and then the other one is Gemini 2.5 Pro with these other settings, and then we can validate which ones are actually the most important and give the better result for us and more consistently. Under the audio section, they have two really cool use cases. One is this native audio back and forth conversation, and so you can talk directly to it, just voice. You can add your webcam for context, so it can actually visualize and see your webcam while speaking to you, but then even sharing your screen, which I find really, really useful. The share screen one is super useful when I'm going on to different software or websites that I don't know how to navigate. It can see my screen and it can actually coach me through it. If I'm trying to learn a new software, do something in Blender, it can actually teach me back and forth. This is even useful for students. Hey, here's my exam that I'm going through. This is what I've got to. Help me out. What are the next steps? Outside of that, they also have the text-to-speech. And so what we can do in here is have different speakers back and forth, or single speaker audio as well. They have a huge range of different voices inside of here that are sounding really realistic as well. They have different male, female, tone, voice, all of that kind of thing as well. And we can go through and generate this all for free, which is really cool. That's the really kind of benefit of this Google's AI Studio, is that you can go in here, free Google account, and just test and play around with these tools. So they actually have their own kind of vibe coding tool inside of this under their build section. And so this allows you to put a prompt in and generate full stack applications, websites, etc., all from your own words, and go back and forth and make changes, which is pretty cool. One of the cool things in here is their library as well of games, VO Studios, all the different ones kind of integrating their different software tools like FitCheck. It is a website application that is vibe coded through Gemini, but then it also uses the Nano Banana model to allow people to upload pictures of themselves and then change what they're wearing inside of that. So it's kind of a real good showcase of what you can do. And so one of the examples is this run chase cricket simulator that was vibe coded. You can go in, it's kind of that retro style game. You want to learn how to do it left, right, up, down, give it a little tutorial as well. And then it will go through and actually bowl me a ball eventually. And I missed it because I hit too fast as I was spinning the button like that. And that was all just coded from someone's prompts. The last thing they have is their new dashboard, which originally was a huge pain because it was all done through the Google Cloud software, which it still is behind the scenes, but getting your dashboards and vision on how much you're actually spending was a bit difficult. Now it's all integrated within here. I don't have any spending on this account, but it allows you to generate API keys. The cool thing about API keys, you should watch my other video, is that majority of the models that are on here actually allow you to have a free limit of like 500 prompts monthly or something like that, which is a huge amount for free. One caveat with that is that they will train on your data, so don't use it for any sensitive information, but for trial and proof of concept stuff, it is really, really useful. They also have the kind of usage and billing things. So this is the one I was talking about. Originally I had to go through Google Cloud and figure out all my stuff from there, but now it's all integrated nicely inside of this. Overall, I think Google's AI Studio is in a really nice place to be able to go in and test and develop new ideas or concepts and prompts, and really easily compare between models, but also change a whole range of customizability settings to really fine-tune your responses and outputs. Having free API costs as well is really good and beneficial for those kind of developing their own software to test things out. And the UI has come a long way from being a really broken, kind of disgruntled bit of software. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Blake. I'm an AI engineer based down in New Zealand. I post heaps of AI guides and content on this channel, so if you want, leave a like and subscribe. See you around.